Good evening, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. I thought I'd make a video. My eyes are out of focus here. So this is a Monday night here in West Michigan. It is the 25th of October. It is going on 7:30 at night. I'm down the lower level, which you can see is where our library is, where our main library is. So yeah, that's the lower level. There's books back there. There's books in the back room. This is the lower level. We have an open basement. As you've seen in past videos, I can go out the back door and go into the backyard, and the flower garden is over there on my right, which is now all has died. But anyway, in this video tonight, I am just going to show you I might call this a used book haul. I have new books. I have books that I've been reading the last couple of days. But I have a whole stack of used books I got at the Book Nook, the library, our local library used bookstore, where I volunteer on Mondays, which is today. I volunteer from 10 to 1, and then on Fridays I volunteer from 10 to 1, and then my wife Carol volunteers from 1 to 3. I've been doing that for over 10 years, and well, during COVID it was closed, obviously. But and today I volunteered, and I got a bunch of used books that I set aside to buy. I don't know how much they're going to cost me until the woman comes in who runs the store and tells me how much these used books are worth, or what I have to pay for them. So I don't have those to show, which I'll show probably in my next video, along with the new books I got in the mail. But these are just used books I've got from thrift stores and the Book Nook over the last couple of weeks. I did pick up one book today from the Book Nook that I bought, and I collect editions of Nabokov's Lolita. I collect different editions of this, and this is a hardback edition, International Collectors Library. I don't know, it was only $2, and I collect different editions of Lolita, and it's one of my favorite books. So I got that today at the Book Nook. I got this at the Book Nook a week ago or 2 weeks ago. This is put out by this series is put out by Barnes and Noble, and these little books, they're called Essential Thinkers Collectors Library. This is Tocqueville Selections from Democracy in America. The reason why I got this is I have a whole Tocqueville collection over there on one of my bookcases, and I just got it, and I just put it up here with these odds and ends kinds of books. So I got that. I also got at the Book Nook a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Stories of Modern Italy, Library of America. Now, Modern Library. I like these little volumes. I have several of these series, and I got this at the Book Nook maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And then I picked this up at the Book Nook a week ago, 2 weeks ago. William Congreve, Way of the World and Other Plays. I got this from my Ben Jonson collection. He was a contemporary with Ben Jonson. Plus I like the Penguin Classics, and I didn't have this one. And I don't get all the Penguin Classics, but I got this one. I picked this up, I think, at some thrift store. No, I got this at the Bluestocking Book Shop, I think. I don't remember right now. I don't know where I got it. I can't remember now. It might have come into the Book Nook I might have gotten it at a thrift store, I don't know. But this is The Expedition of Humphrey Clinker by Tobias Sommeliet. I had an edition of this, but I can't find it, and so I picked this up. This is the author died in 1771, so it's like an 18th century classic. I was thinking of this book when I was reading something else. I can't remember what came to my mind. Oh, it was reading Darnville's Cat by Alexandra Thoreau. When I was reading that, it reminded me of this book. Then I picked up somewhere Price of Salt or Carol. These are novels by Patricia Highsmith. I have a whole bunch of Patricia Highsmith's novels, but I didn't have this one. They just came out with a big hardback of her journals and diaries that I've been looking at and been tempted to buy for my Patricia Highsmith collection. And then I found this at a thrift store, I think at Goodwill a couple of weeks ago. You know, I'm really into memoirs, autobiographies, biographies. This is a memoir, kind of travel memoir, Midnight in Sicily by Peter Robb. It's just about him traveling through Italy, giving its history, and then he goes into the history of the mafia. The historical roots of the mafia and its central place in contemporary Italian politics. He goes into all kinds of things about Italy. I don't know, it just looked interesting, and I collect memoirs, travel memoirs. This is a novel by Sebastian Barry. I have this already. It's called On Canaan's Side, a novel. I collect his, so this is a double. This would go to the Book Nook. I didn't de-haul him. I have his works back in the back room in a bin, but I had this one, but I wasn't sure, so I picked it up. This is a memoir I got at Goodwill a couple of weeks ago. No, I got this at Action House thrift store. An Academic Life, a memoir by Hannah Halburn Gray. She's not really a famous person, but I looked at it and it looked interesting about her life and how she immigrated to America and her parents and how she got into academia, and so it just looked interesting, so I got it. Academic Life, a memoir. This is another memoir, Manhattan When I Was Young by Mary Catwell. This is about a lyrical, lucid, fiercely honest account of a one woman's life in New York City in the 50s and early 60s. So that's right up my alleyway. I like reading about New York, Manhattan in the 50s and 60s, and so I picked this up. Manhattan When I Was Young by Mary Catwell. This is another memoir, A Portrait of an Addict as a Young Man, a memoir by Bill Clegg. He's written novels. I saw a novel of his one time at a thrift store, but I didn't know he had a memoir out. Portrait of an Addict as a Young Man, a New York Times Book Review, Editor's Choice. So it just looked, so I picked that Portrait of an Addict as a Young Man. This is a Joyce Carol Oates book, Maria, A Life. I already had this. I wasn't sure. I have it in hardback, so I'll take this to the Book Nook along with Sebastian Barry. And then I found this at Bibles to Mexico. At first I thought I had this book, but I got this book because of the cover. It's an old paperback. It's called All the President's Men, The Truth About the Watergate Scandal. Isn't that an incredible cover about Richard Nixon on the cover of this. I didn't have this. I had a huge WATERGATE collection that I dehauled, and I thought I still had this one because it's by Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. But I really like that cover. And this one was published in 1974, and it was published in United Kingdom. I also picked this up, a biography of Mary, Queen of Scots by Antonio, is it Antonio? No, I can't put Fraser. I already had this, so this will go to the Book Nook Friday when I go back. Antonio? Didn't sound right. But I had this already, Mary, Queen of Scots. She's very famous. I have all of her biographies. She has one on Cromwell. She has one on all kinds of people. I have Cromwell. Can't remember what else she has. But I picked this one up. Let's go to the Book Nook. Then I got this. This is a book I paid $12 for. Now, I usually don't, maybe it was $7.50. And what it is, it's a book written by Theodore Roosevelt, The Foes of Our Own Household. And it's a nonfiction book. And he goes into what was going on just before the outbreak of the First World War there in America, the politics. And as you all know, I have a big Theodore Roosevelt collection. He wrote a lot of books, and I didn't have this, and someone pointed it out to me, and it was published in 1917. So this goes into my Theodore Roosevelt. I have a book coming in this week on Theodore Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, and the suffrage movement. I'll show that one in my future videos. Foes of Our Own Household by Theodore Roosevelt. This book, this is by Jim Harrison. These are 3 novellas, and I didn't have this one. I have a huge Jim Harrison collection. He's a writer, and I didn't have this, and I really have enjoyed his writings. I just read his novel Wolf recently, and these are 3 novellas in here. The Beast God Forgot to Invent, Westward Ho, and I Forgot to Go to Spain. So this is Jim Harrison. I really enjoy his writings. And this is The Garden Party and Other Plays by Bekov Hevel. I can't pronounce his name, but I was reading just recently his memoir, Disturbing of Peace. It's kind of like, it's kind of autobiography by him, and so I found his plays. I found this at Goodwill. So now this goes with that. And then I had a hardback copy of this, On the Move, A Life by Oliver Sacks, and my wife had a copy, and then I found myself a copy. I had a huge Oliver Sacks collection, and I dehauled it, but I read this along with my wife a while back, and I really liked it, so I picked this up for my own. Got this at Goodwill. And then I had this in paperback, and then a hardback came into the Book Nook. It's called In Europe, Travels Through the 20th Century by Geert. This is translated out of the Dutch. I had a big paperback, and this came into the Book Nook, and I got it for $5. It looks brand new. I picked that up. And what he does, he travels throughout Europe, and he goes to certain places that have historical significance in European history, and it's really well written. I really enjoyed reading it, and I got this for $5. It goes for $35 new. It looks brand new. Came into the Book Nook, and I just grabbed it immediately, and the woman, Mary, sold it to me for $5. Found this at Bibles to Mexico, Walker Percy, Lost in the Cosmos, The Last Self-Help Book. It's kind of humorous. One of the books that I set aside at the Book Nook today was a book of his essays that came into the Book Nook. And I have a big Walker Percy collection in the back, down back there, and I didn't have this one in my collection. I got it for 25 cents. I picked this up. I already had it. It's by Graham Greene, Stamboul's Train. It's also called, it has another title, The Orient Express. So this would go to the Book Nook also. I found out I have two other copies. I have 3 copies of this, but with different titles. That's what fooled me. I have a huge Graham Greene collection in the back. I plan to read him in my advanced old age. I got this at Bluestocking Book Shop. I collect the writings of Phil Kerr. This is Hitler's Peace, a novel. In the fall of 1943, Roosevelt, Stalin met in Tehran to determine the end game of the war. But what if Hitler, canny enough to realize he could no longer win the war, was putting out peace fillers? And what if his secret offer threatened to do what his armies could not, destroy the alliance against him? The latest novel from the author of the celebrated Berlin noir trilogy, Hitler's Peace, delves into just such murky waters as the players and the surrogates deal and double deal. Kerr ratchets up attention even as his ticking time bomb of a plot challenges our deepest notions of good and evil, ends and means. So I got that from my Philip Kerr collection. And then Edward St. Aubyn, At Last. I have his, this is the last of a series of novels. He's one of my favorite British writers, and I didn't have this one. I have the other ones over here. Hold on. This goes with this. This has Nevermind, Bad News, Some Hope, and Mother's Milk. And then this is the last one in the 3 volumes. 4 volumes. Yeah. Nevermind, Bad News, Some Hope, Mother's Milk, and At Last. So now I have those 2. He's really worth reading. So I recommend him. I have other books by him over there. And then I picked this up at Bluestocking Book Shop. Orfeo. This is a novel by Richard Powers. I didn't have this in my Richard Powers collection, so I bought it. Highly recommend the writings of Richard Powers. My wife picked this book up the other day at a thrift store. I have it in separate volumes, but I like this edition because Bruce Chatwin is on the cover. This is his 3 books in Patagonia, The Victory of Ouidah, and the Songlines. And I have this in separate volumes back in the back room. His works, and I have biography of him and his travel writings. But I like the cover, so I'm glad my wife got this for me. And then I picked up this art book at the Book Nook. The Bruegels, he was a painter. Obviously he was a painter, and we've all seen his paintings over the years. But I just really like his art and his... So I picked this up. This cost me $10, but it's a library withdrawal, but I really like his artwork. I also picked up a biography on him at the Book Nook by Walter S. Gibson. Bruegel, I can't pronounce it, but so I picked this up, his big art book from my art book collection. So yeah, see his. So those are the thrift store books, the Book Nook books, the Bluestocking Book Shop books. And so now these have been stacking up, and I want to put them away tonight because I'm sure I got books coming in the mail in November. I set books aside at the Book Nook today. I got books that came in the mail upstairs on my desk in the main study upstairs. And so now I got books take to the Book Nook Friday. So that's it. Not much else going on. The weather here has been really bad, cold, wet, and dark, and it's not good for my mental health. But and plus, there's buzzing in my ear all the time. Drives me nuts. And yeah, and the world drives me nuts. And the absurdity of what I see drives me nuts. But the Lord sustains me in the midst of going nuts. So I thank you for the new subscribers. I thank you for your comments. If I've forgotten to comment, respond to your comments. I'm sorry. I don't mean to ignore you. I hate to be ignored. If I make a comment and no one responds, it bugs me. So I hope you're all doing well, that you have a good reading week, that you had a good reading weekend. Like I said, I'll show you the new books and the books I set aside at the Book Nook in the future. But I wanted to show you these so I can put them away down here in the lower level tonight. So once again, I hope you're all doing well. And until next time, bye.